their site to be able to get it as well. Stay with us. This is Alex Jones for American Tax Settlement. We have received news that the IRS is currently accepting reduced settlements on back taxes, and millions of consumers may be eligible for this reduction to save thousands of dollars. If any of you out there owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS, we have created an open phone line with American Tax Settlement for all Alex Jones listeners to see if you qualify for a settlement with the IRS to save thousands. The number to call is 1-800-506-5904. Millions of taxpayers now may be eligible for this settlement to save thousands of dollars. Don't risk the IRS coming after you and garnishing your wages or seizing your property. American Tax Settlement specializes in negotiating with the IRS on your behalf, keeping the IRS off your back and saving consumers millions of dollars. If you owe $10,000 or more in taxes to the IRS, the number to call is 1-800-506-5904. That's 1-800-506-5904. Call today. Alex Jones here with a question. What does humidity mean to you? Most people think of hot and sticky summer days, but many people are beginning to realize that humidity can be a valuable source of pure drinking water. That's why I'd like you to visit acolablue.com. Acola Blue is a state-of-the-art atmospheric water generator producing purified drinking water from the humidity in the air using reverse osmosis and a 5-stage carbon and UV light filtration system, which produces great-tasting water at an unbeatable price. Finally, drinking water that you control. I use one every day. Say goodbye to expensive water delivery services and storing 5-gallon bottles of water in your home. The Acola Blue 28 is shipped right to your home, ready to make close to 7 gallons a day, right out of the box. They have a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Call Acola Blue right now at 1-800-691-6043. That's 1-800-691-6043. Or visit Acola Blue at ECOLOBLUE.com today.
In the New World Order's war against humanity, Barack Obama is the tip of the spear.
We've got to give them a stake in creating the kind of world order that I think all of us would like to see.
The Obama deception completely destroys the myth that Obama is working for the best interest of the American people.
Well, Obama's already fudging. He's fudged since day one in this election.
If you have a demagogue with a fanatical mass movement of personality cultists who is imposing the program of a group of extreme bankers and finance oligarchs, that's fascism.
It's not about left or right. It's about a one-world government. This film documents who Obama works for, the lies he has told, and his real agenda. Get your copy of The Obama Deception today at Infowars.com or download it in super high quality at PrisonPlanet.tv. The Obama Deception. The people strike back.
Hello, Ted Anderson. Listeners of the network are familiar with the Federal Reserve note and understand the risks of deficit spending. Therefore, with catastrophic events, it comes as no surprise that some banks have currently placed limits on the amount of cash depositors can remove from their accounts. A fractional reserve system means only a small portion of your deposit is held in reserve for immediate withdrawal. Deficit spending will skyrocket through FDIC if the government is forced to insure deposits during a bank run followed by a depressed economy. A current effort is underway by the Fed along with other central banks to increase liquidity for depositors. However, an increase in money supply without equal expansion in productivity can cause inflation. In order to achieve strength and stability, I recommend a conservative portion of all investments to be calmly repositioned into gold and silver. While paper investments currently have been driven by debt, gold on its own has held value for over 6,000 years. For more information, call 1-800-686-2237. That's 1-800-686-2237.
You know, you can hear Mark Crutcher, and I've seen his TV program many times with his daughter and folks. They do a great job. They videotape the radio show.
Is it getting better?
Kind of like we do. And you can tell he really cares, and they were a small organization, but in the last few decades, they've reached tens of millions of people. We see the polls going from the majority of Americans being for abortion to the majority now being against, and even the media admits, oh, my God, people know it's a baby now. They're not, stop driving around with those cars with dead babies as other groups do. Stop. As if that's bad, but the act is okay. No, people are winning. We're winning by telling the truth. And to use abortion as birth control, ladies and gentlemen, is very wicked. They always love to advertise like, oh, you're against birth control. No, this is murder. And now it's babies out of the womb. And now the bioethicists are coming out and saying, and the eugenicists
oh, we need to go ahead and get rid of babies after they're born. This is in the mainstream news. So lifedynamics.com, short segment now. Mark Crutcher's on with us. The film is Ma'afa, Black Genocide, 21st Century America. Describe what the name means and then continue where you left off about abortion worked for them. And this is only one slice of eugenics, but devastating to show people why Time and Newsweek call her, Woman of the Year before. They put her in the top 100 women in history, say she's a great liberal who called black people subhuman weeds.
Yeah, well, actually, our video is called Ma'afa 21. Ma'afa is the term that's used by many in the African-American community to describe the time of slavery. It's a Swahili word that means tragedy or calamity or something like that. But and they call that time in history Ma'afa. And our argument is that the Ma'afa did not end when the slaves were set free. It continues to this day, and I think we've made a compelling case for that in this video, and that's why we call it Ma'afa 21. It's Ma'afa in the 21st century. And, yeah, as I was saying a moment ago, sterilization was their big tool, but in the 60s they began to lose sterilization. The federal courts were starting to rule that these eugenics boards, these state eugenics boards and state sterilization boards, were unconstitutional. And it was at that time, for the first time in American history, that the eugenics movement then switched over and started embracing and began calling for the legalization of abortion. It's also at this time that blacks began to stand up and demand their constitutional rights and say, we're not going to take this nonsense anymore. And all of these three things converged at one point. You had the courts ruling against sterilization boards. You had the blacks standing up and saying, we're not going to be pushed around like this anymore. And then by I guess some people would say an enormous cosmic coincidence, the eugenics movement says, okay, if we can't have sterilization anymore, we're going to start calling for the legalization of abortion.
And then suddenly, let me just add, they've set up the health boards, set up the eugenics boards of the health department, racial hygiene. Germany and the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute, as you know, for those that don't, adopts the U.S.-British model, and Hitler writes in Mein Kampf, thanking the United States and how wonderful it is, and for teaching him all of this, and how he's going to do this to the Jews and gypsies and Germans who had any health problems in their life. If you had a defective heart, they'd come grab your kids and kill them and say, oh, they died of ruptured appendix. So the CPS, abortion, sterilization, that's all going on in Germany. They get embarrassed after World War II. The head of the UN, the Secretary General of UNESCO, Julian Huxley, says, we'll call ourselves transhumanists now. So suddenly in the 60s, the blacks are saying, you're not going to, castrate me anymore. And so they say, you know what? We're going to pay your women to not have you in the house. We're going to break your families up. We're going to turn the cops loose on you. And we're going to make sure those women then later have abortions. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And what you have to understand, too, you mentioned Kaiser Wilhelm Institute. The interesting thing is that the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute was actually funded by the Rockefeller Foundation. And Rockefeller and Carnegie Rockefeller was the primary one, but Carnegie also put money into it. And they were the ones who also funded the American Eugenics Society in Cold Spring Harbor, New York, which is still there today.
Called the Human Genome Project? Oh, that one?
No, it's now called the American Eugenics Record Office.
Exactly, but I'm saying those two nexus in together.
Absolutely. And we were able to get some of the information that's in this DVD that's never been released to the public. We were able to more or less trick them into giving it to us. Once they figured out what we were doing, they shut off the supply of it.
Yeah, continue with the history. We're going to break. We'll come back and tell about that. I mean, folks, you got to get Ma'afa 21, Black Genocide in the 21st Century America. Everybody's got to see this. You want to know? See, the smart white supremacists aren't got shaved heads and swastikas. In fact, those idiot toothless people think when they're fighting the liberal establishment, they're fighting a bunch of, liberals. The smart eugenicists are loving and liberal with ponytails and Birkenstocks. Hi, and they are just sicko filth. But you get behind closed doors with them, you go to events, you confront them, they'll just go, shut up, we're going to get you soon, this country's ours, you're damn right, we're getting rid of them. And I mean, they are, again, the smart ones are, oh, hi, I'm liberal. I mean, very sick. Stay there, sir. Just amazing information. Ma'afa 21. Everybody's got to get it. Infowars.com. Stay with us.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.